So hello there, Horti Hugh here, middle of February. Let's do an update. You can see there's the potager area there at the moment. Give you a tour in a few minutes. It's all still nice and quiet, but I have a few bits here that I want to go through with you. Let me just flick the camera. Okay, so first of all, some seedlings that I sowed last October and have been coming on quite nicely. You can see there is the rocket. So that's ready. I was going to use that as microgreen, so it's ready for cutting now and just adding to some solids. I'm going to sow more seed over the couple of weeks, and they grow so readily, don't they? Sweet pea for the flowers. You can never have too much sweet pea. Again, they're coming along very, very nicely. Going to be potted on, pinched back, and it'll encourage some really good thick growth. The broad beans, you know, I say it all the time, not a great fan of broad beans, but I grow them every year. They were my granny's favourite. She used to consider them like sweets. Only talking to Ollie of Ollie's farm the other day, and I was saying, oh yeah, broad beans, don't like them, blah blah blah, and he was saying, yeah, but you know you have to take off the outer husk of the bean. He's saying there's such a pain because you shell them, then you have to take off the outer husk. And I was like, what? And I was like, what? You take off the outer husk? Do you not just eat the whole bean? And he's like, no, you have to take out off the husk. And I was like, you telling me I've been on this planet for over 40 years eating broad beans I don't like, and you have to take off the outer husk of the bean? Now that's mad. Anyway, so looking forward to trying them this year. Take off the outer husk and eat the little cotyledon piece in the middle, you know, the actual little green piece. So I'll report on those. Here, again, Ollie gave me these from Ollie's farm. He gave me some beetroots. He has these lovely big plump beetroots growing. And he gave me some chard as well. Now I've eaten the foliage of the chard, so just the stalks to munch now, but they'll go down very nicely. And so will the beets. Going to cook them up, probably slow cook them, actually slow roast, or put them in a slow cooker. I've already eaten some of the foliage. You know, you can eat the foliage of these if you saute it on the pan, a little bit of butter, a little bit of garlic. Delicious. Okay, and he gave me a Turk's cap. I did very well out of dropping it over to Ollie. He gave me a Turk's cap, but I'm going to extract some of the seeds from, because if you saw mine last year, like, they were, in comparison, they were like about this size. So that is a big Turk's cap. So I'm going to extract some seed. Hopefully we'll get some viable seed from it. Do you remember the tomato cuttings I took last autumn time? Well, there they are. So we're coming out this end of the year, and they're looking very nicely. And at the time I was saying the tomato that was on, I was like, will I eat the tomato at the end of 2017 or leave it to 2018? So there it is. The first tomato of 2018, let it be recorded, it's been on since 2017, still nice and firm. These have been sitting on a sunny windowsill in the house, in a room that we don't really use, so it only gets the light streaming in through the sunny window, and I'm very happy with them, I have to say now. I hope they don't carry disease over. I'm keeping them well away from the seeds that I will be sowing. And these are cuttings. When I was giving an update, I can't remember when, one of the updates, I was saying, oh, we're taking some cuttings. So these are the cuttings that I took at the time, and look at the roots on those. So they're ready to go as well. They're ready to be potted up. So that's the tomato endeavour. So for early tomatoes, overwinter your cuttings. As I say, I will be doing some seeds as well, but I'm going to keep the seeds well away. I have the separate area that I'm going to keep these guys in, so it's trying not to cross-pollinate if there is any disease. And what do we got here? Well, there's some potatoes that have sprouted in bags. They're a variety called Satanta. So they've sprouted very, very nicely. So I'm going to actually use those. I'm going to put them into 2-litre pots. Well, some of them anyway, into 2-litre pots, and see what comes of them. This is the deliberate piece that someone I read up on called Nikki Kyle. She talks about having early potatoes, and she talks about deliberately sprouting potatoes in January and then making sure you're potting them up by the end of January. So there's ones there. That's a variety called Jester. I think it's a second early. So they're well sprouted and they're actually potted up at this stage. I'll put a little bit more compost over them. So the idea is to have potatoes in April. Now, of course, you're running the chances of frost, so lots of fleece in whichever. I don't have a tunnel. She uses a tunnel. I only have the glass house and the greenhouse. So lots of fleece to keep the frost off them. We'll see how we go. Bit of an interesting experiment. So bulbs wise, there's all my bulbs containers. Picked up just a few in the autumn time to add to the existing stock that I have. So they're all coming along very nicely. I'll just keep out those weeds. You know, there's the daffodils are well up over there, and there's tulips there, and there's some narcissi, some of the smaller ones, and some mascaras. So it's nice to see them all coming up. It's going to be very seasonably coloured. There's a viburnum in flower. Got that at half price at one of the sales on last month. It's a viburnum bodnatense Charles Lamont is the variety. It's a beautifully winter scented shrub, so well worth having, and the fact the weather is staying cold has meant of course the flowers stay on for longer. It's very powerfully scented. So let's do a tour of the potager, which is there. So it's all quite, you know, not much to see, I suppose is what I'd say. So it's all to do. There's my my mixed sort of flower bed. There's chives coming up, there's more daffodils coming up, there's some hemerocallis. So this, where the potager is situated, this is sort of like a flower area straight in front, so that's actually quite good. The grape, I better get the pruning because it's getting late, and that's going to start growing very soon indeed. And there's the loganberry, nicely pruned and tidied and so on, so that's grand. Some of the currants, the red currant and the black currant, again not much to see, but the rhubarb, there is something to see. You see it's actually sprouting, so here we are, middle of February, and it's actually beginning to sprout, so pretty happy with that. Layout wise, I've actually constructed two new frames here, cold frames, so you can see them there. They're a nice size, and the idea being we're close to the sea, we get a lot of wind, we get a lot of constant wind, so they'll help with some of the salad type stuffs. They'll certainly keep them nice and sheltered. Be nice and cozy in the spring and then during the summer. I'm going to do my usual. There's the bed frames that I changed to cold frames. I have to recover them, so they'll go along there, and again providing some nice cover. This particular piece here with all the boards on it, that's going to be another bed. I'm going to put a lid on it, so that'll be another sort of cold frame, but that'll be more an area for hardening off. As I'm taking stuff out of the glass house, seedlings out of the glass house, that'll be an area for hardening off. Okay, in the glass house itself, well, I was hiding the strawberries area yesterday, so I'm going to get more than a few runners off those. Anyone want a strawberry runner? Lava Suus, raise your hand. And in this area here, this is my little winter getaway. You can see there's cabbages coming along, and there's some beetroot for leaves, and then some of my chard coming along. So this was originally a bed of it's fairly rawish manure this time last year, where I was doing a little bit of the hotbed stuff, but look at the stuff it's broken down to. So you know those early potatoes I'm talking about. So I'm going to transplant some of them straight in here. That'll be super. And in the glasshouse itself, I don't know if I can give you a good shot of it. Not really. I have this like covered area within the glasshouse itself. So not only is the glasshouse, but then within that, there's this lovely little sheltered area. But we'll pop some of the potatoes. I'll clear out some of that. And of course, these guys are actually for flowering outdoors, so I'll harden them off in one of the cold frames as well. So yeah, not much seed here at the moment. I have a little greenhouse where there's some seed sowing has started, but the main seed sowing, because the weather has been so cold, I haven't actually started seed. Now it's due to lift. The weather is due to lift, so that's good, you know, to get warmer. And some spinach coming along. That was sown last autumn time. Hasn't done very much over winter, more or less just sat there, but even that's a success, you know. These patio doors, I'll take them off, let some sunshine and air into them, and I cover them back over if there's going to be frost tonight. There's some flowers I was growing in a crate, some rudbeckia, so they're going to come out and be split. And this is the strawberry area here. I was tidying this up yesterday because you should have seen it. It was full of weeds. In fact, I might have got a video clip I'll put it in here just to show you. So that's looking well. Well, what is it? This is the area that you don't like to see, you know. The compost, more compost. Let's get some carpet for over this lot. But just as I'm weeding and tidying, I'm separating out the weeds, putting the big perennial weeds. A little lupin coming along. That's a hosta. And these are 2 gooseberries that I rescued from a garden that was being ploughed into it. They're little red gooseberries, so I'm looking forward to tasting them this year. There's only one very squash berry, but before some bulldozers and JCBs moved in, I caught this. And in this area, you've seen before, there is the onions, the overwintering onions. So they're going to be a nice size. And there's the garlic. So a little bit of weather beaten, but sure, look at the weather that we've had, you know. Yeah, so all in all, pretty happy. Some beds cleared out. Overwintering bed. So that's how it's looking here. And it's funny because I look at the area this time of year, you know, jeepers have a lot of space, but once you start sowing and growing stuff, isn't it amazing how quickly it'll all fill out? It really is. And finally, thank you all very much. There's been a lot of shout outs, a lot of new followers, and I'm very grateful. It's great, it really is. People have been very kind, so thank you very much. I suppose I go like, I've under 200 followers, so I don't really have much to contribute in that area, but in actual fact I was talking again to somebody different and they're going, oh, you've nearly 200 followers, and I was like, oh, okay, because I'm looking at guys who have, like, you know, 1,000, 2,000 followers, you know who you are, and I'm saying, oh sure, I'm way off that. So I'll do some shout outs as well. So if you want me to do a shout out for you, if you think you'd benefit from me doing a shout out for you, you know, put your name down in the comments and I'll do it next time. We start doing some shout outs, and as I say, just thank you very much. And if you don't like or subscribe, if you don't subscribe, please subscribe, and thank you for everything, and catch you soon. God bless. Bye bye. Oh, and just to say, loving the Brussels sprout challenge, think it's a great idea. We're going to have a lot of fun actually watching that. Well done, Misfits Gardening. Fair play. Bye.